Hello, this is Ollie's Movie Madness, and I'm here to talk about just the utter production mess that is Avengers Doomsday. Now, originally the film was called The Kang Dynasty, but it's now being called Doomsday. The reason for this, aside from the obvious horrible person, is that Marvel rightfully saw Kang as a cruddy villain after the strongest Kang got beaten by Ant-Man and the Wasp. So, who wants to see more of them? They'll all just be weaker than Kang the Destroyer. And also, Doom is a much more interesting villain. But since they cast Robert Downey Jr., that was really stupid. I made a whole other video about that. But I want to talk about Robert Downey Jr.'s behavior on set. Now, 3 weeks ago, Robert Downey Jr. saw the stunt double and the body double for Doctor Doom. That is the villain he's playing. And he got all pissed and says, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want them to do it. I want to do it myself. So he's essentially making life harder for the crew that's working on this film. And another big problem is they're shooting stuff, but there's no screenplay. There's no script. And apparently, it's also the fault of Ryan Reynolds because he has been an utter jackass in real life. The stuff with him and Taylor Swift, the stuff with Justin Downey, the stuff with, him and, his wife, and him, threatening people on YouTube. It's all just a big mess. But getting back to Robert Downey Jr., he was acting kind of like a diva on set. He was kind of acting like Christian Bale, only he didn't say, no, let's not take another minute, let's go again, and let's not have you screw it up. He didn't act like that, but it's just him being all narcissistic, thinking that he is the center of attention. So he goes you know what, I'm going to do everything by myself. We don't need a script. We could do it on our own. And that's why people have turned against both Robert Downey Jr. and Ryan Reynolds. Is the fact that they're both acting like total assholes. Mainly Robert Downey Jr. because he says, I don't want the stunt doubles to do all my stuff. I want to do it myself. Put me in the Doctor Doom costume. And we're going to reshoot it again. And apparently they're going to reshoot the whole film next year. And they don't even have a completed script. So that's a dick move on Marvel's part. And they use this thing called fix it in post. And what that means, we're going to go back and reshoot everything. And if you remember Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness, that film was a big mess to film because it was COVID. They had to do it over Zoom. They had to use a CGI double for John Krasinski's Reed Richards. So that's why you found the whole filming process kind of awkward. Same with Patrick Stewart. So, yeah, they're doing the same thing when they go oh, we're going to fix it in post. And, Marvel, they're never happy with the screenplay, so they're going to say, oh, reshoot this, rewrite that, just do the whole movie over. And this is not the first time that's happened. If you remember this year's Captain America Brave New World, they essentially remade the whole movie. Because going through reshoot after reshoot because Giancarlo Esposito was not in the movie originally. But they added him in there at the last second. And having Robert Downey Jr. just be a big diva on set, it's okay, now I hate you because you're being a complete narcissist. And I'll say that the only thing that I'll be looking forward to is Data, a.k.a. Q, Quan, a.k.a. Ouroboros, The Void, Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, Deadpool, even though I'm starting to hate Ryan Reynolds. Not as an actor, but just as a person. So that could be really interesting. And this movie's already overstuffed because apparently they're trying to add in I'm guessing the old X-Men team. That's why those actors are coming back. So yeah, this movie's just going through mess after mess, and they're gonna just reshoot the whole thing because Marvel is so spoiled when it comes to reshoots. They're never happy with what they actually shot, so they go oh, we're gonna do it again, and it's that's dumb. That is so stupid. And Robert Downey Jr., it's kind of his fault that this movie's failing. Apparently, he got into an argument with Pedro Pascal, and yeah, this just proved that Robert Downey Jr. is a piece of shit. just a horrible person because he thinks he is the center of attention. He thinks he's Mysterio. And just because you're cast as the big villain does not mean you get to act like fucking Christian Bale or Marlon Brando. Yeah, even though that actor is no longer with us, he was also kind of narcissistic because he says, "Oh, I don't know what Kryptonians look like, so we're gonna put a bagel on set, and that's gonna be me. I'm not gonna act in this movie," and then he eventually did. Yeah, I'm not kidding. They were trying to use an actual food bagel as a stand-in for Marlon Brando. And oh dear, if you've seen The Island of Dr. Moreau, that horrible movie, that is the biggest production hell that film has gone through. But yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is acting like Marlon Brando because he thinks the world revolves around him. And I'm going to say this. I am currently writing my Avengers trilogy, and I'm not even fucking done with the first script. I'm taking my sweet-ass time to write the script. That is why you should always be patient when you write your script. You can't just say, "Oh, we're gonna shoot the film, we're gonna film everything with no script." And knowing Marvel, that's exactly what they're doing. And this movie is gonna be the biggest bomb. And I already said this in my podcast today, but this is gonna be worse than Avengers Age of Ultron because of how much of a mess it is. So I'm gonna say this, fuck Robert Downey Jr. for being spoiled, fuck Ryan Reynolds for being a piece of shit, and just screw this whole production. If it doesn't go well, why bother doing it? Like, why bother even, like, filming everything if you're not gonna be fucking happy with it? You're gonna say, "Oh, we're gonna redo it again." Yeah, like that script you wrote for Doctor Strange 2 in 2 fucking weeks. Because Marvel's never happy with the screenplay. So that proves that Marvel is a giant hole of garbage. But anyway, that's going to be it for my video on the production hell of Avengers Doomsday. Maybe it should be called Avengers Doom, because they are Doom, because everything is going wrong for them. And even Nightcrawler, Alan Cumming said, "I don't know which actor I'm filming with." And yeah, that's another stupid thing Marvel does. They put you in a random room with another actor. They don't even tell you who you're filming with. So that's a big fuck you. And also, me and my older sister, Shelby, were making Rango and Boots, but we're taking our sweet ass time because, believe it or not, that screenplay that we wrote took about like 2 months. So we took our time with the screenplay, and we're not gonna hire any divas on set. We're gonna have full creative control with the movie. But anyway, the fact that I take my time with writing and casting, and Marvel's like, "Oh, we're gonna be like Sonic, and we're gonna go really fast." No, you have to take it really slow. This movie's gonna flop. So that is my thoughts on the production of Avengers Doomsday. Just a really messy production. Robert Downey Jr. being a diva, as well as Ryan Reynolds being a full-on jackass. Oh dear, this movie's gonna fail. So that's gonna be it for my video discussion of the production of Avengers Doomsday. Hope you guys enjoyed.